All right, so hello and welcome to the very first episode of SkyBound. My name is Robin Sky, and I will be your host. You are some of the very first viewers of my brand new VTubing channel. This channel is going to focus on pop culture, technology, and it's all going to be through the lens of the evolving metaverse. As more AR, VR, and XR elements work their way into our daily lives, we're going to be here to help you make sense of what's up, what's down, and where it's all going. So strap in, get cozy, and enjoy the first episode of SkyBound. All right, friends, so last weekend was AnimeFrontier Fort Worth, but before I dive into that, I have a few commitments that I needed to kind of sort out beforehand. As very few people know, again, hey, first episode, I am one of a select few of people in virtual reality that has decided for some reason or another to take on the daunting task of being a full-body dancer. So we're a relatively niche crew of people who are crazy enough to cobble together entire mocap systems for the sake of shaking our butts in VR. And as often as I can, I work as an angel at Club Rapture. And I was thoroughly intent on not missing out on the action of this week's Friday night event. Unfortunately, with AnimeFrontier, this meant that I had a lot of logistics to sort out. Tickets for AnimeFrontier were available starting at 10 a.m., but I wasn't able to get off work until 3, so I found an inexpensive hotel nearby enough to the convention to drive to with my VR kit. That's right, I put the whole thing in a car, and I went to a hotel. Now, I'm pretty used to seeing hotel rooms repurposed for convention use. You know, I'm looking at you, Steampunk World's Fair. But I've never done it for VR dancing before. So the double bed situation had to go. Lucky for me, the bed frame was pretty light. I was able to move everything out of the way. I kind of built a mattress fort in one side of the room, and hey, it's working out. So I was able to get a clear enough space. Hotel rooms all have that like little air conditioner right there on the window, so I had like a nice breeze, good temp control, and I had to get everything set up. So I scrambled as fast as I could. Again, off work at 3, drove to the hotel, got to the convention center. Once everything was set up, pretty stressful. It's a lot of, if you've ever worked with a full body VR kit before, there's a lot that goes into it between the setup, the calibration, making sure that your computer settings are all right, trackers, controllers, headset cables, all that stuff. So I have it all in a road case. I've gotten pretty good. I've got a laptop and a nice Alienware M15 that I'm really happy with. And, she does good. She does good by me. So, stick in there, baby. But I was able to get everything kind of sorted out. And then the hotel ended up having high-speed Wi-Fi. 50 down, baby. So, heck yeah. Felt good enough. Everything got tested, so I headed to the convention, and I was able to pick up my badge by 5 p.m. Now, I scouted the con for about an hour. Just checked the floor out and everything. Guys, I still had a gig to do that night. So I returned to the hotel with just enough time to discover that my trackers were behaving super wonky. And if you've, again, ever done full body VR, for those of you that haven't, trackers are what allow you to have hands. They allow you to track your hip motion. You put one on each foot. And that's what gives you the ability to move in VR like you see me moving right now. But there's a lot that goes into that. So the checklist of kind of going through that all, again, you're in a headset, so you can't see the room, you're looking around, you're not supposed to have reflective surfaces, you're supposed to have your base stations and everything calibrated, there's power settings and windows, like there's a ton of stuff. So I'm going through the list. I'm already like the late-ish to the event. We're not dancing yet, we're still playing drinking games, but I'm like, dance captain, I'm doing my best. My arm keeps like floating off into space. I don't know what's going on. And they were like, okay, restart. And so I'm getting like active troubleshooting. This is why I love VR. I'm getting like active troubleshooting from our dance captain because everyone's experienced these issues before. So I'm going through all of these problems and they're like, oh, did you check your Windows device USB power settings? Did you go through and, reset the drivers, do a full restart of scene? So I'm like going out of VR, going back in. And then I take off my headset at one point and I go over to my computer and I look up and there is a giant mirror staring me right in the face. And I'm like, bro, VR 101, no reflective surfaces. So I was so frustrated. And this, I'm not telling anyone what hotel I'm staying in, but, please don't call the manager. I just took the mirror off the wall. I was like, ugh! And I just went and set it off in the bathroom. And I was like, I can't believe it. So as soon as I got that, it was just in the nick of time for the event to actually get rolling. And, everyone was done playing Never Have I Ever. We have a little warm up period, because, hey, we're dancing full body. So we all do warm ups. We have a green room. We have a mirror. It's just like a real dance venue. And I was able to actually get myself prepared and ready with enough time to stretch. And I danced the first song backstage just to make sure that things were good, and then made my way into the rotation. So that was hectic and fun, and VR always presents us with all of those fun types of challenges. So, hey, again, I go through it so you don't have to. Unless you're a full body VR dancer, then hey, hit up in the comments below. Let me know what you do. There's not a lot of us out there, so, we kind of need to stick together. After all of that, I had a wonderful event. Everyone was super lovely, and, the tip emojis were going crazy, so, maybe someday that'll be real money. But I was able to wrap up the event, grab a shower, and tuck it in, and get ready for AnimeFrontier Saturday morning, the heart of Cowtown, Texas, right near the Fort Worth stockyards. All right, my first impressions of the show: popcorn everywhere. It was popcorn. They put it at every entrance, everywhere you go. The entire venue smelled like rich, buttery goodness. And stick around, because I did not fall temptation to the popcorn. See if I made it all the way through the event, though, because, oh my God, when you just get hit with it, it's it's so, you can almost taste the popcorn just from how it smells. And they're so vicious. They put I swear, there's fans in those popcorn machines, and they just point them at the doors. So as soon as you go in the exhibitor hall, popcorn. As soon as you leave, popcorn. It wafted up to the second floor where all the panel rooms were. And so you're trying to go to these panels. You're just I smell popcorn everywhere. Oh, it was awful and beautiful all at the same time. So that was a trial. Again, I'll let you know if I survived the weekend, surviving temptation. Oh man, AnimeFrontier, first year show. All right, Left Field Media, the guys behind Anime NYC as well, just the previous weekend or two before, up in New York City. First year show, Fort Worth. We're seeing a couple of those popping up, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, let's actually get out and do stuff sort of phase. And, anime cons are kind of representing. They're showing up. And I think that's because, a lot of us are used to kind of being indoors, if we're fans of VR, if we're fans of gaming, if we're fans of, binging anime shows, which, let's be real, can go on for a bit. We're kind of used to spending some time by ourselves. So I think it was really exciting for us to have an event where we were all able to kind of congregate again. The cosplayers were able to come out, the industry, panels were able to come out, and all the vendors were able to finally socialize again. Everyone was in really high spirits. So it was a really lovely showing for a first year. For a Texas show, I will say it was surprisingly COVID compliant. Every guest had to show proof of vaccination, and masks were required throughout the entire venue, which, for these cosplayers, getting creative with your mask, not that hard of a deal. They did allow us to take masks off in the dining areas, so as long as you were eating, you're fine. And, it felt like it was the perfect size, honestly, and layout for the venue. Programming was held, like I mentioned earlier, where all the popcorn odor wafted, what a weird word. It was held on the second floor of the venue. On the exhibitor hall, we had the voice actors for their autograph and meet and greets, all the exhibitors, Artist Alley, and the food. Again, all in one giant open-air exhibitor hall. And I especially enjoyed how they handled the voiceover actor section. So as someone who's volunteered for those line handling and worked with that talent backstage, having a really well-run section is something that you don't always see, and it can be a huge point of stress for all these guests that are coming and they're signing and the lines and people are trying to get their signatures and have their little moment with the person that they're there to see, and it can get hectic. So seeing a show that actually had that on lock for a first year was really refreshing. It kind of makes sense that they've probably figured out, been a little bit trial by fire before this. But Left Field Media, hey, great job. Loved the signing section. Some of the other standout sections were definitely the Senpai Squad vehicles with, cars featuring weeb culture pretty prominently. My personal favorite, the Darling car from Darling in the Franxx. So cute to see that in a car. Just like this little monogram stencil, the word Darling. Adorable. I'd drive it. And the Attack on Titan manga booth that had a beautifully curated pop-up that was very well lit. All of the manga pages were printed in large format behind plexi, and they had video displays running all the way around. So very beautiful job, Attack on Titan, for putting that together. The most exciting thing for me, however, was by far all of the SAO excitement that existed and permeated the entire show all day Saturday. For those of you not familiar with Sword Art Online, I highly recommend you go check it out, especially if you're interested in VR, AR, XR storytelling. It really pushes the envelope and does beautiful thought experiments with, what's possible, what's life going to be like. MIT Media Labs has a motto, or at least they had a motto, I'm not sure if it's still there anymore, is just because the thing doesn't exist yet doesn't mean that we're not going to create something analogous so that we can be working with the headspace and the philosophy and the practical logistics of the thing that's coming. I really, really feel like SAO has nailed that, to just boom, bap, squarely on the head. Beautiful show, beautiful music, beautiful visuals, beautiful fight scenes. Again, it's such a beautiful show. And it's still ongoing. So Alicization story arc is, hopefully something that we're going to see some more of in the near future as well. They also had a live stream of the SAO orchestra from Tokyo with Remy and the voice of Kirito from the Japanese version opening up. He gave a really impassioned Linku start at the very beginning, which of course got me super hyped because you could tell I'm a fan. So all of that was a beautiful day. And then at the Aniplex panel, the English voice actor for Sword Art Online also showed up to do a little bit of back and forth Q&A because the SAO movie had just come out that day prior. So I got double teamed by both Kiritos all in one day. And honestly, I'm not going to complain. It was a pretty great day. The movie that I then saw, I actually just got out of seeing it a few hours ago, was all about the supporting lead's point of view for the entire first few episodes leading into the world of SAO. And I just got to say, no spoilers, but absolutely incredible movie. There's no way it's going to stop at this one. They have set up something beautiful to continue telling the story through Asuna's eyes, and I'm really excited to see where they go. Not gonna lie, an uncomfortable amount of retconning. Keep spoilers, to a bare minimum. The movie just came out, but I'd love to hear people's comments, after the movie's been out for 2 weeks, and then we can go ahead and start discussing, hey, what the heck is going on here? How did this all happen? But one thing I will say, again, no spoilers here, but the visual quality of the film in a movie theater was surprisingly stuttering. The music was amazing, the sound effects were amazing, but the visual quality, the frame rate, felt like it was stuttering, especially during pan sections. And, just seeing it on that big screen, a small screen, maybe it's optimized for streaming. I'm not sure what format they were given for the theater. There were some beautiful high fidelity sequences, but for some simpler sections where you can tell they probably just skimped on, the budget or the time or whatever it was they're dealing with, it was a little off-putting, not gonna lie. So, maybe in the future when we're optimizing these sorts of releases for theaters and we're considering a theatrical release, kind of take a look at that frame rate, studios. It gives you a little bit of vertigo. And we weren't even in VR headsets, so take that into consideration. There was an announcement at the Aniplex panel about the SAO VR event X Chronicle being released for North American audiences, where it was previously only available in Japan, this coming February 2022. This looks like VR chat for SAO, not gonna lie, but they've got boss fights, they're showing lobbies, they're showing the famous opening sequence with Akihiko Kayaba in his big red doom and gloom avatar announcing the rules of the game. I don't know. I have to say personally, I am super psyched to finally see the franchise dipping their toes into what VR has to offer to their audience, because the entire format of the storytelling relies on it. We've had plenty of games come out on console that, they just don't feel, if I'm being honest, they don't feel like they really crack the code of what SAO is, which is a thought experiment for the upcoming integration of the metaverse into our lives. And they have dug deep into what that would look like, into the medical, into the ethical, into the psychological. And, once you do that much work in storytelling, to then have to dial it all back and give it to you on a, 2D console experience, when VR is now, finally getting its heyday, I really feel like, I really hope, I should say, that we're going to get more content in the SA universe, in the VR space, as we continue to see that vertical actually expand and grow. So, things like the Oculus making VR a lot more accessible at a lower price point, people getting involved in PC VR versus standalone a little bit more often. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a full SAO VR MMO for, PC VR users on the Steam store. But I don't know, maybe it's in development. Who knows? But I would not complain. In fact, I'd probably shut the channel down, because I'd be like, hey guys, sorry, peace. I'm going to go play SAO. Bye. Yeah, no game, no life, man. That was my experience at AnimeFrontier, and I'm really, really curious. Comment below if you learn any more information about that X Chronicle event, because the Aniplex rep said tickets were available online, could not find them. Caught him after the panel, and he was like, oh, I couldn't tell you where, I just, and so we looked around, he couldn't find anything, and he said he was going to put it on the Aniplex website. He was going to follow up with them, and they were going to post it there. So hopefully we'll be able to know where to get tickets for this thing. I don't know if it's going to be capped at some certain attendance or how the servers are going to run, but I really, really, really hope that we all get a chance to experience it. It sounds like it's going to be a limited time event, and it does sound like it's going to be a pay for entry experience of some kind. So I mean, if it were up to me, I just want a mini game, right? Where you can play with other people in set instances and go on a boss fight or go level up a little bit, maybe do some store exchanges, feel out like the town of beginnings. I really feel like a mini game would be a beautiful experience, but it sounds like it's going to be like a mini expo in VR. So hopefully we'll see where that goes. I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, but if you guys find out any information, post it in the comments, because if I miss this, I'm never going to forgive myself. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the reveal. Did I succumb to the popcorn? And no. I even went to a movie theater afterwards, didn't eat the popcorn there, and I finally made it to Chili's after everything was said and done. I did not succumb to the sweet buttery goodness of being inundated with popcorn for an entire day. It was rough, it was hard, but I survived. So, at least if anything, trust in my consistency, all right? I cannot be tempted with gorgeous golden buttery kernels of popcorn. Well, that is the first episode of SkyBound. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, I hope that you subscribe to the channel, if this video, was entertaining to you in some way. Comment below if you have any suggestions on the stuff that you would like to see covered in SkyBound. Again, we cover the intersection of pop culture and technology when it comes to AR, VR, XR, and the emerging metaverse. So thank you so much. This is Robin Sky logging out, and I will see you on the next episode of SkyBound.